Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So today Hot Toys and yesterday announced us a few new figures, so I'm going to be giving you my thoughts about it. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff to go around. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So of course we have Masters of the Universe, who's coming out on the 5th of June 2026, so this is really around the corner. So of course we have He-Man and we have the bad guy Skeletor. So I must say that it was pretty impressive that they got the license, and they seem to have mostly all the license of movies out there currently. So I'm kind of happy that they're expanding a bit the production line and going into new franchises, because it is true that there is a lot of fans of Masters of the Universe. I'm not one of them, but the movie does look pretty interesting. So again, we will have to wait and see what it gives. So let's start by He-Man. So I must say these new muscular bodies who are made out of silicone look pretty impressive. Now again, we come to the same point, is how are they going to last over time, because this is the big question. Now something over here is maybe disturbing. I don't understand why Hot Toys didn't go with artisan version of it. When you have this kind of short hair and this kind of thing, this makes it very, very easy to be able to make this kind of, how do we say, look to this wheel hair than compared to certain longer hair, depending the long length of the hair. But the way it falls, it means it looks like somebody's blowing with a fan, so that his hair is going a bit all over the place. Now, other part that I'm going to be diving into, I don't see much fake leather, and they're going to plastic, and this is something who is pretty good. And let's have a look at the rest of the pictures. So, of course, here we have some more pictures of He-Man with his sword, and as you can see, there is no fake leather. Maybe underneath, under there, it could be something, but for now, I don't see anything, and this is pretty good. Now, the big question is, how are these two materials going to interact with the plastic on the silicone body? This is also something that needs to have a closer look at. I like the fact that we're getting the lightning effect. Would have been good to have maybe a bit more of it, because this is when he calls out, I have the power, and of course this is when he transforms from Prince Adam into He-Man. So here we have a closer look at the head sculpt, and this is what I'm saying, it's really a bit of a shame when you go into so much detail. The hair looks really too plasticky and really is a bit of a disappointment on that behalf. But again, as you can see, I understand wherefore they may not want to go with pleather, but you can really see that with some good weathering you can get some pretty good effects without having to use fake leather. So here's some more combat poses of him. Of course, when I go and see the movie, if I go and see the movie, might get more hyped about it and be more interesting about the figure by itself. But even you can see the way the plastic is cut over here, everything falls down pretty neatly. Of course, this is one of the biggest worries due to the fact of the lack of flexibility in the plastic. When you're doing this kind of more dynamic poses, it could be a problem. So of course, here we have him after getting a call of power and transforming into He-Man. I must say this is a pretty cool and emblematic pose that he has. And again, we always come to the same part. How is this stress on the silicone body going to be affecting for the years to come, and will there be any problems? Because I must say this is maybe one of the poses that a lot of people will be giving him as in their vitrine. So yeah, we'll have to see. Now, of course, here's some more cool pictures of him, and we're going to be having a look at the base plate over there, because that one is really, really awesome what they did with it. I like the idea of going into Castle Grayskull, and I really like the idea of doing it. Now the question is, will they be continuing it for the other figures and making a bit different depending the figures? Can they be clipped together? It doesn't look like by the way it's done, but I do like the idea of it. And of course, there's going to be a bit of an issue if you're going to put it in a vitrine. The fact that this is higher, the fact of having him lifting his arm up like this with the sword, would mean that you will have to reorganize your vitrines to have them a bit higher up to be able to expose them in. But again, must say the figure does look pretty nice. So of course, we're coming into the same talk points about a seamless silicone body, upper body, arms and legs. Well, I don't know, he looks pretty much full silicone, but if they're saying a seamless silicone upper body, they could mean that they did hide some articulations underneath it, but I don't think so. But yeah, afterwards it's always the point of view on it, and of course we don't see more pictures, so it's hard a bit to be able to get a good glimpse. So of course, highly detailed and screen accurate costumes. I mean, for $300, I don't know what's going to be the price, because Sideshow does not have them up yet. I mean, this is something that it's kind of expected. And again, the fact that they went for plastic on the boots and they want all of this is something that is good. The only question I have is the silicone body going to hold, and will the other plastic material taint the silicone body? Time will tell. So here is the head sculpt with, of course, a separate rolling eyeballs. There's nothing new at this moment. But again, I think the hair really does not make this figure. It's really a disservice, and this should have gone on for real hair due to the fact that it's short. So here's the base, and I mean the base is really looks really awesome, and I really like what they did with it. I hope that there might be some more figures. I guess it will depend on how the movie works. And of course we have a little tease of not Serpent, sorry about that. That's the thing with G.I. Joe, of course, and we have Skeletor next to He-Man, so it gives you a bit about the dimensions and how they look. And by the looks of it, these bodies are the same, but this seems to be going into more of way of marking and some veins and some marking on the body of Skeletor that are not too bad. So here is everything that you get with the figures. So of course we get some extra hands, we get the lightning rod effect over there. I can understand it would have been very hard to put some kind of LED system on it. That would be a bit hard, but it could have been a nice little add-on. Again, it's not, that would be more nitpicking, but again, the figure looks good. And for now, well, I have a lot of stuff already, and I don't know if I'm going to be picking it up. Again, that will depend on the movie and of course if it's good or not. So yeah, it's something that I would like to see, but I would have liked to see maybe a more artisan version of it. So, are you going to pick it up? Are you happy that Hot Toys has acquired the Masters of the Universe movie line franchise? Let me know in the comment section. Now, let's jump on to Skeletor. And as much as I said that I don't know about He-Man, but Skeletor, even if I'm not the biggest fan of Master of Universe, this figure looks pretty amazing, and I must say that I am really interested in getting this figure by the way he looks. So let's continue. I mean, he looks pretty majestic, the way the coat, his cape hangs, so I guess there must be some wiring to do that. Looks good. The staff over here looks good. There's also some light effects that they're going to be talking about over there. It's a more of a reflection. The eyes also with Serpentor. Serpentor. Why do I'm always thinking that it's Serpentor and always mixing up? No, means Skeletor. Sorry about that. So here's some more pictures of Skeletor. The fact of the light up in the eyes looks cool. The rest of the way he looks is really cool. And again, you can see also a lot more plastic going around, no platter going around, so that's good news. Again, the body is going to be very interesting to see how it's going to age, and especially that there's a lot of weathering and detail going on to his muscular body, who looks to be exactly the same as He-Man. So here's a close look at one of the ways you can pose him, and I must say this one I do like it. With the crown, it's a bit surprising. I prefer without, but I can understand the reasoning behind this one. But yeah, I do like the possibilities of having two different ways of posing. Of course, we can see that he has a different base plate over there, so that's also pretty cool. And yeah, this is really looking pretty amazing. So here we have Skeletor. You can really see the base plate over here, and that the stand over there looks pretty amazing also. So I took this picture here because, I mean, if you can sit him down like this and he looks exactly the way it is, that you can give this kind of bend and hold it in this position, this is really incredible that you can really bend it to this kind of level. We'll be kind of curious to know how the joints are over there, because I don't think this is only going to be silicone, because this is going to put a lot of stress on it. Would I have liked to see maybe a throne over there, but I have the Cobra Commander throne from Sideshow, so I could kind of put it on because there's nothing much more about it, and snakes are also part of Master of the Universe, so that could work. But I mean, if this is possible and it holds and there's no damage to the silicone, yeah, definitely fantastic what they did with these new bodies. So of course, we're going to be talking about the LED light up functions over here. Be kind of curious to see how it works. Is it going to be USB? The fact that they don't put the USB kind of makes me believe that they might go back to the batteries for it. I can understand, but if you have this kind of cape on him, it would be easy to dissimulate the, how do you call it, the USB cable. After that, I'm seeing over here the way that the figure seems to be gripped on the stand. I'm not really convinced about that, but we're going to have a look. Maybe this is going to be some more close-ups to have a look at. Of course, the seamless silicone upper body, arms and legs. That says it's going to be the same one as the one that He-Man has got. So of course, some closer look over here, and again, the fact that we don't have any pleather around is some really great news about it. And this is some kind of stuff that I'd be kind of curious to see, the UV luminescence effect. Now the problem is UVs are not very good and are not really compatible with your figures, so I'm kind of a bit surprised that they went for it. I would have believed that they would have gone for a different one with like purple light will give this kind of effect than UV, because I'm not really convinced that that's a good thing. I remember when I had the storefront with the UVs hitting the vitrine of the shop, I can tell you a lot of uniforms and a lot of stuff did change of color. So I'm not really convinced about that. But again, I guess time will tell. So here's a look, closer look at the base plate over here, and again it looks pretty amazing. And as you can see, it's the way it's hooked, kind of is a bit disturbing on that behalf, because I don't believe that this is the best way with the silicone body having this in contact. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a shame. So of course, here is everything that Skeletor comes with, and as you can see, yeah, this is definitely a buy for me. I really like, and I think what they did is really, really fantastic. Cannot wait to see this figure and see more, and even maybe see when we get closer to the time of release, going to see what the bloggers and other people who have the figure in advance will do, like pictures. Now let's go on to the rest. So of course we have Supergirl. The movie is also coming out pretty soon, so they decided to release at first. Yesterday was the first one, was of course Lobo, and then I was like, well, that's kind of surprising that Hot Toys is making a character whose debuts in the Supergirl movie and is not making the main character is not always sign really good. So of course we have her with Krypto, and the Krypto is different than the one that was given with Superman. So I was kind of a bit surprised that they decided to go on that way and not reuse it, because that would have been a pretty easy way of reusing. The head sculpt is kind of interesting, but again, this is something that where the artisan version would have helped. She has this kind of hairline that would have gone, and the fact that the way it lands, again, this is where the artisan should come in. Now the question is, will Inart be doing any figures, because they did acquire the license for the Superman movie, and I guess they might have it. Of course, it's going to be like always limited to Asian market. So yeah, that would be interesting to see, because here again, this is where I believe that the artisan version with the real kind of hair works better than this kind of plastic, due to the fact of the posability. And when you're going to be moving it around, this is going to be too harsh and will not fall neatly. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the poses. As you can see over here, she is in a flying mode, so this is very interesting. Of course, there's some photoshops going around it to be able to do it, and you don't see the stand, but I like the wiring in the cape. Of course, the boots seem to be made out of this fake leather, so this is something who's going to be something that needs to be addressed, and all the wrinkles over here is something that's going to be, could be also an issue. Same goes for her suit. So of course, it would be interesting to see what kind of body is underneath here, because if there's some articulations, this could bring into being clips in. But if it's a complete silicone body, that would be kind of make sense on it. But again, this is something that you will have to look out, and I would be kind of curious to see if how did they do the body, because when I'm looking at it, it seems to be really well attached for a suit on the body, and I'm wondering if it's not directly a complete suit on it, because the way it is, I don't seem to see. Yeah, it does seem to be not attached. So of course, the suit is pretty impressive that they does not have get more wrinkles, but of course, as you can see over here and over here, this is going to be a huge issue about flaking in the future, except if it's real leather. But I do think there's some articulations. The way it looks, the way the suit is done over here, it looks like there is some articulations hidden under there. So of course, we do have if you saw the how do you say, the trailer for it, you would know that she has the code. I mean, this looks like Star-Lord with his her Walkman over there, going around and getting drunk and doing all this kind of crazy stuff. And I don't know, like I said, don't know if I want to go and see this, but over here you can really see again, you're putting so much effort and details going around, and this plastic head does not look good at all on this figure. So yeah, Krypto, yeah, like I said, he's a bit different than the one that was given with Superman, but again, yeah, there's not much you can do. It's more of a fixed dog, and I think the one from In-Out looked better than the one that they gave with the Superman version from Hot Toys. So again, we'll have to see, of course, the fact that there is wiring in the cape that you can give it. But again, the fact of him mostly having the same pose, but with the left leg up instead of the right leg up, is really a bit of a shame. So here is the Superman or Supergirl's base over here, and as you can see, there is something very interesting happening over there in the back, and this is something that we can talk about, because it is something that Hot Toys needs to do a bit more. As you can see, you have the base over here where you can have a little insert in it, and again, this is something that I find it pretty cool, and I don't understand. Hot Toys, you should be doing it with, if you're doing it with one figure, then you should be doing it with every figure. It would make sense. It would be pretty cool to be able to have a backdrop on each of the stand, and of course, if you harmonize the different stands, it would be also benefit for the collectors themselves. So here is the two display modes that you can do for her. So this is something who's going to be interesting to see, and of course, like I said, it depends on the movie. Some of the accessories do seem pretty cool over here, and I think this version looks better. The way that she has the smug on her face is a little bit disturbing, and when I'm seeing this, I'm already scared for the material who's going to be peeling away. So of course, we have the bendable wire embedded in the different coats, and of course the cape. So yeah, that's nothing new, and I mean it's with every figure. But the more I'm looking at the pictures, the more I'm digging this kind of version than this one over here, who's really not normal, because this looks like something that should be more going for the kind of more superhero look than this kind of version over here with the trench coat. So of course, here we have everything that comes with it. She seems to have some pretty good equipment, and she seems to be well equipped as a figure. So yeah, I'm not going to complain, but I must say that it is a bit surprising that they went for this kind of hair, because this hair does not look good. Over here, it works, but over here, it does not work at all. So, of course, we have Lobo, and of course, the figure is a figure that has been really highly requested, and a lot of fans of Lobo out there are going to be happy about it. I'm kind of curious to see if Hot Toys is going to do a version of its motorbike and make a Lobo with the motorbike. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't go that route over there, because it's kind of pretty emblematic. Afterwards, I know Lobo has a dog, because I had the premium format. I think I still have his dog in premium format left somewhere in the warehouse that I had. It was a mistake that was ordered for a client, and the client didn't pick it up. So I'm stuck with that one. I might have to put it back up for sale. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe they didn't want it to have two dogs out there, but Lobo does look pretty good. And again, one of the things that is always worrying me is the fact of having this fake leather over there. So again, I can understand that you don't have much of a choice, but yeah, it is going to see. I hope that they use real leather. It would make sense. Do find also the contrast, and I can understand that there could be some issues and harder, because they went for plastic, and over here you have real chain. The contrast between the two of them is not really that great. Head sculpt looks pretty amazing. I guess Jason Momoa is going to have a lot of fun incarnating Lobo, and as he said in the interviews, he really thought that he was going to be hired to do this and not Aquaman. So again, head sculpt works. Now, I must say that if I was talking about the real hair, over here it seems to be less disturbing, the fact of having plastic hair, but on the other ones, I guess it's maybe because they were blonde, and that's the reason why the hair doesn't look as good. But again, even here with the darker hair, it seems to work. But again, this is going to be where you're going to have an issue if you're not going to be posing him in this way, and you're going to try to give him a bit of an angle with the head. It's going to be problematic, because the hair is not going to fall down properly on it, or in not a natural way. So of course you can see the rest of his outfit, and I must say he does look pretty cool. All of this kind of reminds me of the Dreadnoks from G.I. Joe, so of course bit expensive to make a custom like this, and of course the body will not work for, of course, G.I. Joe figure, except if you are trying to make a Zaltan version for him going in this kind of color with the sun. But yeah, the figure looks pretty interesting. And again, the fact that they're going on to more plasticky looks on the figure and using more plastic does seem to say that they have learned from their mistakes with the pleather. So hopefully the rest, like I said, is real leather, so we won't have any issue or less issue over here. So of course he does come with the same stand that of course comes with Supergirl, so that's kind of interesting to have this continuity in the line. So of course this is something that Hot Toys may want to think it over, because the fact of having a backdrop over there is pretty cool, and putting them together side by side, the fact of having something that will interact between each other would be pretty cool also, if they would do something in that way. But again, that's something that Hot Toys needs to really take a look at. But again, I think if you're going to do it completely, do it with every figure, then it makes sense. But if you're going to be saying, well, this figure gets one, this one doesn't, it can be confusing for the people out there who are fans of these different franchises and would not mind to be able to put them in and have a certain continuity, even if they're not from the same universe, between them exposed in their vitrines. So of course, here we have the answer, and genuine leather vest, that is pretty good news. So yes, that means it's not going to peel, and that's the reason why all the rest seems to be more plasticky and going on that effect. And yes, that's really good news. So again, the only question is, how is the silicone body going to hold up in time? So here's a closer look at the different accessories. Like I said, when I'm looking at it, this speaks to me for a G.I. Joe fan as Dreadnoks. So I don't know if somebody's going to break this figure down and be selling bits and pieces of it, so you can pick up and buy the bits and pieces to do some customing if you want to customize some figures. But yeah, this could be something pretty interesting. Like I said, my downfall on the figures, if you're using wheel chains, and over here you could have gone on to more lookalike on it, because over here I can see that you went on for some weathering, but this looks to be a continuity of the chain, so that's a bit of a shame that the way it looks, it really sticks out really too much. So here is the detail muscle definition. Again, this is nothing new. They have been using this body for a little while. We saw those on Skeletor, we saw it on other figures, so it's not much of a big of a surprise. We're just kind of curious to see how this is going to age, because there's different variations of paint on it, so that's going to be something left to see. And again, how is going to be the interaction between the silicone and the plastic? Will it start losing, and there's going to be some paint transfer or some stains appearing? That's something that needs to be taken into care. So separate rolling eyeballs, nothing new over here. And of course, the figure, must say, looks pretty amazing, but again, I was never much of a DC fan, so of course it does not speak to me. That doesn't mean that the figure doesn't look good. And here we have some of his accessories, and I must say they look pretty impressive and seem to be interesting. Also, again, not using fake leather, using plastic, and doing it in this way with some nice weathering is pretty cool. Like I said, the only thing I find a bit disappointing is the way that they did the chain over here. I would have liked to see some more weathering on the metal. So anyway, this is everything that you get on this figure, and I must say the figure is pretty well equipped. Again, there's no price line over there for the figure. So yeah, let me know in the comment section, are you a fan of Lobo or not? Because like I said, for me, I'm not much of a DC universe. I'm not going to say I didn't have any DC universe comics growing up. I'm not saying I don't like Batman or Superman, but again, I was never into, I was more into Marvel stuff with G.I. Joe and Punisher. So yeah, now let's have a look at the last figure that was announced from Hot Toys, and it's a 2-in-1 figure. Anyway, before jumping into, I wanted to also add the pictures of them next to each other, so you can get a good impression of how they look posed next to it. As you can see, Lobo is really way bigger and of course more bulkier. Of course, it is logic due to the fact that he's male and she's a female character that she's not going to be. So it's kind of interesting to see how they're looking, but they're really pushing that you should buy both of those figures. So if you're interested and you are a fan of this, I have a link in the description. If you want to pre-order any of these Hot Toy figures, you can go and check out the link. It does help out the channel. So yeah, are you getting both of them? Not? Lobo? More Supergirl? Which one are you going to be picking up? Let me know in the comment section. So for the last figure, if we can call this a figure, and this is from the video game Masterpiece. So if it is considered a masterpiece from the video game, it should be kind of alleged action figure. Now I know that this is a video game, and that's where my knowledge stops. I don't know anything about this Jeff the Land Shark. I know that there's a cartoon on Netflix who has also a shark dog or some kind of stuff who looks a bit similar, so I don't know who copied who on this behalf. I just saw it because My daughter likes Peppa Pig and some other stuff that is easy for her to watch, and it's great for her learning English. So I'm not going to complain about it, but I did see that one pop up in the feed, but she doesn't seem to be interested by it. Now, what can I tell you about it? I don't understand. I know that they did this in this Cos Baby stuff, and it makes sense to go onto it. But why would you go for Jeff the Land Shark? And on top of it, if you would have said you would have done one version, but you did also a deluxe version of the character. Now, of course, if you look at the Cos Baby ones, you will see that there's different outfits for it, and yeah, I'm kind of lost for words. I don't know what really to say about it. I think that anything that looks like Grogu baby stuff or cutie stuff like this seems to be the new trend that Hot Toys seems to be going with. But like I said, I don't play the game, know nothing about the game. So if you're a fan of the game, let me know in the comment about why does this character seem to have many different outfits, and yeah, let me know in the comment section, because that will be very useful for the other people who are like me who don't know anything about it. So let's continue having a look at it. As you can see, it does not look that it has much possibility, and when I'm looking at the way it's posed in this looks like something that you would buy for kids who is inflatable, that you put some air into it. Does not look like anything of special, and when I'm looking the way it goes, doesn't look like it has much possibility to do much posing. So yeah, as you can hear in my voice, I do not care about this product, and as much as it's cute to see him with the interchangeable faceplate over here that must come out, it must be magnetically attached. You have the possibility to put the different tongues in, so yeah. I have my dogs who are way cuter than that, and yeah, definitely not for me. So more of the exclusive. Of course, for now, Sideshow hasn't posted anything about it. Now, of course, this is a video game, so I don't know how the market and the marketing and the franchise works, because technically it would be englobe with Marvel, and if this video game is based on characters from Marvel, and these seem to be under the umbrella of Disney Marvel, so maybe Hot Toys will be able to get the licensing from them and not from the people who make it, or is the video game made by Marvel? It could be also a possibility. Anyway, let me know in the comment section if you have this kind of info, but like I said, not interested by the character, not interested by the video game, so yeah, not definitely not for me. So here are all the accessories that you get in the deluxe version, and I think this must be more oriented to the Asian market, because this seems to be something that they seem to be very hyped about. So this is what you get with the regular version, and if you're getting the regular version or going on to the, because you like this character, skip this one and should go on directly to the deluxe version. The fact that it has the extra accessories is something that is always kind of cool, and the day you decide to resell it, you will have more possibilities of reselling the deluxe version than the regular version. So let me know which are the figures you're getting. Are you getting any of these, or are you going to wait for the movies to come out and decide which ones you're going to go for? Supergirl, Lobo, Skeletor, or He-Man? Let me know in the comment section, and let's start a conversation around our favorite hobby. So that's going to be it for my thoughts about the new Hot Toy figures that have been announced. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, you can do it also in the comment sections. If you want to see more videos, there's going to be a link at the end of this video to see more videos, and that does help a lot the channel. If you want to help out the channel, if you want to pre-order any of these figures, I have a link that's an affiliated link, and it permits me to get some points towards my next purchases that are going to go up for review. So also go and check out my Facebook page, Instagram page. I have the links also in the description, and of course, like always, I wish you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.